A Hollywood action star, a quiet neighborhood, and a fight caught on camera that looked completely one-sided. But what if everything you saw wasn't the full story? Because when the truth came out, it changed everything for Alan Ritchson. Here's something that might surprise you. In many real-life altercations caught on camera, the first viral clip is often incomplete or even misleading. Short clips can shape public opinion within minutes, while the truth can take days to surface. And in cases involving celebrities, the judgment is even faster, the backlash is even louder. So when footage emerged showing a well-built actor standing over a man on the ground, throwing punches, the internet didn't wait for context. It made up its mind. It all began in what should have been an ordinary setting, a quiet neighborhood in Brentwood, Tennessee. At the center of it, a dispute over something surprisingly common: noise. According to reports, Alan Ritchson, best known for his role in Reacher, was riding his motorcycle through the area. His neighbor, Ronnie Taylor, believed the noise had become a disturbance. What started as frustration quickly turned into confrontation. And then, something far more serious. The first video that surfaced, released by TMZ, painted a very specific picture. It showed Ritchson standing over Taylor, striking him multiple times while Taylor lay on the ground. No context, no beginning, no explanation, just impact. And in today's world, that's often enough to trigger outrage. Viewers saw what looked like excessive force. Some called aggression. Others questioned what could justify that level of response. But then more footage surfaced, and everything began to shift. New video clips, including footage reportedly from Ritchson's own body cam, revealed something the first clip didn't show: the beginning. Taylor was seen rushing into the street, directly toward Ritchson, not just confronting him, but physically blocking his path. Then came the moment that changed the narrative entirely. Taylor admitted, publicly, that he initiated physical contact. He shoved Ritchson. He pushed him off his motorcycle, and according to reports, he even challenged him a fight. Suddenly, the situation didn't look like an attack. It looked like escalation. Let's pause here, because this is where the story becomes more than just a celebrity headline. It becomes about perception. How quickly do we judge based on what we see? How often do we assume we have the full story when we only have a fragment? Back in Brentwood, authorities began reviewing everything: video footage, witness statements, the timeline of events. And after examining the evidence, Brentwood police, led by Captain Stephen Pepin, reached a clear conclusion: Ritchson acted in self-defense. No charges would be filed. The case was closed. But here's another twist that adds depth to the story. Despite being cleared, and despite the fact that Taylor admitted to starting the physical confrontation, Ritchson chose not to press charges. Think about that. He had the legal ground. He had the evidence. And still, he walked away. Why? We don't have a direct answer. But sometimes, actions like that speak louder than statements. Because in a moment where things could have escalated further, legally, publicly, emotionally, he chose to let it end. Meanwhile, Taylor described the situation as something that built up over 2 days. He claimed he had seen Ritchson riding his motorcycle through the neighborhood multiple times, which he believed was dangerous and disruptive. By Sunday, frustration turned into action. He stepped into the street, he confronted the actor, and from there, things spiraled quickly. What makes this situation even more layered is who was present during part of the incident. Reports suggest that at one point, Ritchson was riding with his young sons. Now imagine that for a second. A confrontation, a physical altercation, and children nearby. That changes the emotional stakes entirely. Because suddenly, it's not just about pride or conflict. It's about protection. And perhaps that's where the response becomes more understandable. Because when people feel threatened, not just for themselves, but for their family, their reactions can intensify. Not out of aggression, but out of instinct. Away from the incident, Alan Ritchson has been riding a wave of professional success. From starring in the hit series Reacher to working on major film projects like War Machine, his career has been gaining momentum. He's known for playing physically dominant, controlled characters. But real life is rarely as controlled as a script. And that's what makes this story so compelling. Because it reminds us that behind every headline, there's a human moment. Messy, unpredictable, and often misunderstood. In the end, the investigation is over. No charges, no ongoing case, no legal consequences for Alan Ritchson. But the story leaves behind something more important than a legal outcome. A lesson about jumping to conclusions, about incomplete narratives, and about how quickly perception can turn into judgment. Because sometimes the truth isn't in the first clip you see. It's in everything you didn't